Hi, I'm Hazel. It is almost Saturday and it's time for a new vlog. This week it happened. I got my legendary. It happened for me. I got the Anun's Searing Shackles, which is the bracers for Shadow Priest. What it does is when my dots deal damage, it stacks up a buff that makes my next Void Bolt hit really hard. So it's a good amount of damage. It's not the best one. It's actually the third best legendary. The ones that you really want are the shoulders and the belt, the Mother Shahraz's shoulders or whatever, and then the Mangaz's Madness belt. So those are the ones that I really want, but at least I didn't get like the healing head or the bubble neck or anything like that. At least it helps me do damage. So that's good. Now we're just kind of pecking away looking for a second one. I got it to drop out of a Mythic Plus chest, not the weekly one, although a lot of people seem to be getting it out of their weekly Mythic Plus chest, but just at the end of I believe it was like a Halls 5, maybe something around there. But I'd been doing a lot of Mythic Plus. I wouldn't be surprised if it was bad luck protection, but maybe I just got lucky. You never know. So now I'm just pecking away, trying to get more, because now I've had a taste of it, and now I need all of them. I've had my research done, so I can wear 2 if I get to. So I just need more, and hopefully with 7.1 that'll happen, because it looks like they haven't said anything about the drop rate being raised, but it looks better. I'm seeing legendaries in guild. We're getting like 3-4 legendaries a day in guild. So I just got to keep doing my homework and cross my fingers and hope it happens. For any of you that are still waiting for your first legendary, I believe in your dream. And hopefully it happens pretty soon. Any day now. It's gotta be. What else? Karazhan came out, and Karazhan, very cool dungeon. So I have my full video up of it on the channel if you're looking for boss guides. That video does not contain 2 of the 3 opera fights because I only had access to 1, and then I also didn't do Nightbane because that wasn't discovered yet. But yeah, Karazhan is a super cool dungeon. It took us like 2.5 hours. It looks like about a 2-hour dungeon, so it's long. But people have been asking for that ever since Blackrock, whatever the hell, with like the dwarves and Moira, Thorasan, whatever. People like the big. It feels like a raid. Especially with the way the trash goes, it feels like a raid. And the mechanics of the bosses I think are really cool. They're not punishingly hard when you know what they are. But if you go in there with a pug and people are trying to skip mechanics, it's not going to be pretty. There's a lot of mechanics that no matter how much damage you're doing, they are a wipe if you do not get them. An example of that is the Flame Wreath, of course, on Shade of Medivh. Puts a little ring around you, and if you step into one of those or you step out of it, you're going to deal 1.5 million damage to your party. And very few people have more health than that, or at least not halfway through a fight. So it's cool watching people go in and just get wrecked by mechanics, but I have a strong feeling that after a couple of weeks, once people are more familiar with how the bosses work and they know what the key mechanics are and how to manage them, I don't think it's going to be very hard, because most of the fights were really manageable once you figured out what the trick was, basically. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to be pugging it anytime soon. I'm going to be definitely doing that in guild groups from now until the end of time, hopefully. They have discovered how to summon Nightbane, which is the secret, I guess it would be the 9th boss in a given run. You have to complete a speed run, basically, so it's like a Monty Warbear style. The crystals that you had to go to for the quest initially, there are time limits to get to them, and if you get to each of them within the time limit, basically you'll summon that extra boss. You don't have to do all the bosses for it. I don't believe there's like a route that people are going to do. I don't think I'm going to make a video on that just because I don't have any plans of actually doing it anytime soon. I don't care that much about the Smoldering Emberworm mount. I mean, it's cool, and I'll get it eventually, but I have like a lot of mounts that I'm happy with. And it looks rough. Like, that speedrun looks gross right now. Later in the expansion is probably when I'm going to try for it, like at the end of the expansion when we all kind of outgear Karazhan a bit. I think it'll be a better time to do it then, because right now it looks real gross. And at the end of every run, he drops the mount, but he only drops one of them. So you're gonna have to do it a couple times with the same group of people if you want everybody to get one. So I'm just gonna wait for now. But for anybody that's really excited to do that, congratulations, that's how you do it. And yeah, it's a really cool looking mount. So Karazhan was cool. I'm really happy with that. What else happened this weekend with 7.1? There's so many little things. So many little 7.1 things. I'm probably going to try and put together a list of like my favorite like quality of life changes. I might try and do that for next week just because there's so many cool things that I never knew I wanted. Like the on the map, if you're in a party, you could always see where your party members are on a map. They have like the class colored dot on the map. Sometimes those would be really hard to find if they were hidden behind something else on the map, like a world quest marker or a dungeon marker or whatever. And sometimes I'd be like, well, I have no idea where you are because they were standing on the stone. I was trying to find somebody. But they've made those gigantic now. So they're magnified. It's great. I can see them. And I never knew I really wanted the party member map markers to be bigger, but apparently I did, and it's great. So yeah, lots of cool stuff in 7.1. But the most exciting thing, the most memorable things, definitely got to be Karazhan. Yeah, so what else? We are going into Blizzcon opening week today, actually. They're starting the WoW Arena matches. Yesterday they had a bunch of the Hearthstone esports, so all the esports stuff is getting started early. And then, of course, the finals are going to be on stage at BlizzCon November 4th and 5th. This, not this weekend, but next weekend is BlizzCon weekend. So it's crazy that it's like a week away. And I'm so hyped. I'm so excited. I really want to just watch all the tournaments. I was having a huge amount of fun watching Hearthstone. They've implemented a new thing this year with Hearthstone where you can actually, if you're a Hearthstone player, if you play Hearthstone, you can pick a champion out of the tournament competitors, and when they win games, you get free packs for your champion. So I think that's really, really cool. I picked BB Gun, I think. On my husband's recommendation because he follows Hearthstone more than I do. But I had actually a blast watching all of the games yesterday because I've never really sat down and watched a Hearthstone tournament and like watched it be cast. I really like playing Hearthstone just like casually in the morning, but I don't usually think too much about my decisions. I always try and make whatever the most efficient play that I can think of in 10 seconds or less rather than actually, but like the mind games that go into these tournament games are really cool to watch. So excited about the Hearthstone, super excited about the WoW tournament, obviously. I can't wait to see how that shakes out, so I'm going to be watching that today. And, oh man, it's just so much fun. Oh, they confirmed Weird Al as the music show, the BlizzCon closing thing. They are having Weird Al perform, so that's going to be kind of fun. A lot of people have mixed opinions. Some people really like Weird Al, some people don't. I think he's great. I think it can't be worse than like Blink-182. So, yeah, BlizzCon. It's going to be so much fun. What else? Oh yeah, so there was a project that I took part in a couple of weeks ago that is now available today. So I was contacted by a mobile game dev to be part of their iPhone game. So the game is called Crazy Cast, and it's available now. It's free. You can get it on iOS devices, so your iPhone, your iPad, and also on Apple TV. And it's basically just like a word scramble game. So they give you a word and then you have to figure out, and it's like scrambled, it's an anagram, and then you have to figure out what the word is. But you're racing against a pre-recorded footage of like a YouTube personality doing it. So I actually got to be one of those people. So you can download this app if you have an iOS device or an Apple TV. You can download this app and you can try and race me to unscramble the word. And then there's like pre-recorded footage of me winning and losing. And basically you're trying to beat my actual times. Now, I'm pretty good. I wouldn't say I'm amazing. You can probably beat me in the game. I wouldn't say I'm amazing at word scramble games, but I'm not bad at them just because as a kid, I was disgustingly into Boggle and word find puzzles. I really enjoyed word puzzles as a child. I don't really know why, but I mean, they were cheap. My parents would just like pick me up one of those magazine things that had just like 300 word searches in them, and I'd be like, cool, this is gonna be a great weekend. So I'm really into that. So it was a fun thing to be part of. It's neat to see myself in an actual game. It's not like a super big game, but it's well done. So yeah, if you have an iPhone or an iPad or an Apple TV and you want to fight me or fight a recorded footage of me rather in a game, you can do that. It is called Crazy Cast. It's spelled just normally. I'll put the name of it somewhere around here. And yeah, that's out now, so that's kind of cool. And we had a bunch of questions this week. So Joe wants to know, is real WoW more exciting than the WoW trailer? Also, would you suggest Warlock for a new player? So, real WoW, it's hard to say because the trailers are actually really exciting. WoW does really amazing cinematics. The trailers have always been spectacular. So when you first log into WoW, you're not exactly going to be like careening off a mountain on a big griffin. You're not exactly going to be like standing on top of a mountain, hurling lightning bolts down at like armies that are encroaching on you. Not at first. You're probably going to spawn in Elwyn Forest and be like, well, here's some boars. But if you ever, it's like there's a reason that so many people have been playing this game for 10 plus years. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily as exciting at first as the WoW trailer, but once you start playing through it, once you get attached to it, you can form like this real emotional bond with this game, and it just kind of becomes part of your life. You make friends in the game, you can become part of communities, and the thing that I really like about WoW is banding together and making those friends to overcome challenges in the game. I really love just meeting up with my guild on raid night, we're hanging out in Vent, and then when working together, we can down these really crazy bosses, and that's a really cool feeling. And the same thing with PvP. I can group up with two other people, I can make friends with them, we can hang out, and then we get online, we work together, and we support each other, and we try and kill 3 other people doing the same thing. So it's like, I'd say it is as exciting. It's got its moments, and those moments are what keep you coming back to it. So Definitely, obviously, I'd recommend WoW to anybody. And as far as a new class for a new player, Warlock is definitely good, and Hunter is the other good one, as somebody replied to you. Both of those are pet classes, so it's kind of neat that you get a buddy, a little companion that can help you out in combat. And your companion can also tank for you. So early on, when you're not quite sure what's going on, you're still looking around for your buttons, it'll help you not die as much because your pet can help you kill things. And he always knows what to do. So yeah, definitely Warlock or Hunter are good for new players, but don't get too attached to it because you want to try out different things and like take a look at what other people are doing. Because most people have a class that eventually they just kind of click with, and you got to sort of try out a couple different things to figure out what that is. Or I mean, if you're clicking with a concept really well, like you really think that like nature is super cool and you love healing and plants and trees and stuff, you might end up doing the kind of the resto druid thing. Or maybe you think, I don't know, you got to click with like the aesthetic and then also the gameplay of a class. So Hunter and Warlock definitely good places to start, but it might not be where you end up, so just keep an open mind. Robin wants to know, what mouse and keyboard are you using? So as far as a mouse, this is the mouse that I recommend to anybody looking for a WoW mouse. This is the Logitech G600. So if any of you have had a Razer Naga, it's basically a lot like the Naga, except it's a little bigger. I always found the Naga cramped my hand a little bit, but this one's big enough that I don't have to be super tense in my hand all the time. You still have the 12-button grid on the side here, so I have that assigned through 1 to 6. I like using it for cooldowns. Definitely not rotational abilities because you'll wear your thumb out, but things that you press like every 20 seconds or less are really good on here, and you can pretty easily... This one... It's, these buttons are sort of tilted. The Razer ones are all flat, but these ones are kind of angled in a way that makes it easier to learn early on. And then the other thing I like about this mouse over the Naga, I believe it's a little bit cheaper, and then also they last longer. I know so many people, myself included, that just burn through a new Razer Naga like every year and a half. And I've had this thing for like 2, 3, maybe even more than that years, and it's perfectly fine. I've always found the Logitech stuff to be more durable than the Razer stuff. So, if you're looking for an MMO mouse, definitely it's called the Logitech G600. In my opinion, that's the best one you can get. Also, I believe you can change the color of the backlighting the keys. With the Razer one, you're stuck with green, but this one, well, right now it's also set to green. You can pick off a color wheel, whatever kind of color you want. So that's always kind of cool. And then as far as a keyboard, I'm using. Now, keep in mind, I don't actually play WoW on this thing. I have this guy. It's a SteelSeries Merc Stealth. It's a gaming keyboard, but I don't game on it. This is really just for typing, and it's a membrane keyboard. It's not mechanical, so I do actually want to replace that at some point, because whenever I play Overwatch, I play on there, and it's not great. So, it's a Merc Stealth. It's got, like, this little setup on the left here that has, like, WASD here, and then, like, a bunch of number keys. So it's designed for gaming, but, it's fine. I'm eventually going to replace that with with just a regular mechanical keyboard when I find a good price and a decent mechanical keyboard with a 10 key, something like a Razer Black Widow Stealth or a one of those Corsair keyboards maybe. And then what I actually play WoW on with the keys is this guy. So this is the Razer Orb Weaver. I had to think about that. The Razer Orb Weaver Stealth. The Stealth just means the keys are a little quieter. Because I am somebody that records a lot, I need the keys to not be deafening, otherwise they get picked up. They're still kind of getting picked up in my Battleground videos right now, so I need to adjust my settings. But, Razer Orb Weaver, and basically what you've got here is you've got these little, you get a little wiggly thumb things. That's what my movement keys are bound to, so I don't have to use like more than one finger for movement. All of my movement is on my thumb. And then all of these buttons you can have for hotkeys and for modifiers. I use these guys as shift and alt modifiers so that I can basically get like, I don't know, 18, 36, like 40 more keybinds than I could ever possibly need out of that thing. So that's what I play WoW on. Logitech also makes a version of this thing, and I used to use it. It's called the G13, but the Logitech version is not mechanical, and the Razer one has mechanical keys. So that's what I found. So yeah, that's what I use. Vlad said, your Alliance t-shirt is so cool. Where did you buy it? So that's the t-shirt I was wearing last week. This is obviously not an Alliance t-shirt. This is just like an owl. But I got that one from Jenks. That was a Jenks shirt, and they have all sorts of different WoW designs. There's lots of class designs. There's lots of Legion-specific designs. So they've got some really cool WoW shirts over at Jenks, and they have men's and women's cuts of them, in all sorts of sizes. They're like normally priced for a shirt like that. They're like $20-ish, so they're not super cheap, but they're not super expensive either. So and they're nice shirts. I really like that shirt. It fits really well. It didn't really shrink in the wash or anything, and it's nice material. It's comfy. It's a quality shirt. So definitely can put my name behind Jenks Shirts. Ben says, "Hi Hazel, could you please explain how Vampiric Embrace works in Legion? The tooltip is kind of confusing, thanks." So I would love to, but I don't really know. And the reason is because, like you said, the tooltip is confusing. So the tooltip is actually at a discrepancy with the buff that it provides. So the tooltip says, here, I'll actually pull them up so I can read them. Okay, so the tooltip says, fills you with the Embrace for whatever, causing you to heal a nearby ally for 40% of any single target shadow spell damage you deal. So that would imply that when you pop that button, one nearby ally is healed for 40% of your single target damage. But the buff that it actually provides says 40% of your single target damage heals you and your allies. So I haven't actually done any testing on this to figure out whether it's just healing one other guy or if it's healing me and multiple allies. I don't know. But it doesn't really change the application for me, aside from maybe whether or not you use it in single player, like world questing and stuff. So basically, the only time I ever use Vampiric Embrace is if my raid is taking raid damage and they need extra help. So I don't know if it's healing one person or if it's healing more than that. But in phases like Ursoc, for example, any Ursoc charge phase where my healers are trying to catch up is always a good time to pop that. So honestly, I don't know. I wish I knew which one it was. I hope it's the buff and not the tooltip, because the buff is obviously better. It's healing more people. But I don't know. And Andrsha says, "Saw a recipe about black pancakes but can't find it anymore. Any idea on how I could make it?" So as far as the food coloring being bad for you thing, as long as you're not just like squirting buckets of it in, it's probably going to be fine. It's designed to be edible. But I think you'd probably need quite a bit to make them black. Honestly, I don't know. I don't really make pancakes. I'm a waffles person. If I had to choose between pancakes or waffles, I pick waffles 100% of the time. To the point that I don't even really do pancakes. They just feel like a sad version that should have been waffles, but they're not. So yeah, I can't really help you there. There's probably some kind of food thing that you can add to it to make them darker. Like if you start with like chocolate pancakes, you throw some cocoa powder in there, and that's a good start. But honestly, I don't have a good answer for you. And yeah, so that has been my week. I'm so excited about the Blizzcon games. I think they're happening right now. I need to go turn those on. I hope to see some of you on the stream later this afternoon. So same as every week, 3 to 5 p.m. this afternoon, I'm going to be streaming here on YouTube. And I feel like I want to do some PvP today. I feel like I want to get some people from the stream into a group with me. And I want to queue for some random battlegrounds and maybe a couple skirmishes. Because the new changes are in. I can get more honor and artifact power. So that'll be kind of cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.